Though it's one of the best remembered relationships from the show, Bobby and Connie only actually dated for roughly 3 out of the show's 13 seasons, and it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows.
I'm flattered that you asked me to help you with your algebra homework, Connie.
Actually, Luann, I don't need you to teach me algebra.
Oh, thank God.
Hey folks, welcome to Squirrel Tactics. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our Patreon and merch store, and yeah, let's just do this thing. Robert Jeffrey Hill and Con Supernusent Jr., better known as Bobby and Connie, the two started off as friends with a little bit of will they won't they going on for the first few seasons.
My dad won't let me be around boys until after I'm married.
Before becoming an official couple for about 3 seasons, then breaking up and going back to just being friends after a slight adjustment period.
Why can't you love me the way you love these assorted chocolates?
For the remaining 7 seasons, yeah, they were only an actual couple for less than a quarter of the series. I'm sure the writers split the two up so that they could do later season romantic plots with Bobby, like his infatuation with Connie's cousin Ted Powell in Bad Girls, What You Gonna Do?
What is it with you beautiful Asian girls and that stupid redneck boy? Why so self-destructive? Low self-esteem?
So the two first met when Connie's family moved next door to the hills in West East Side Story, and even in the first scene they share, which is the two families having dinner together to get to know each other, we see the two of them share this look, and I could be wrong, but this very much looks like the first flint strike that makes the fire of a childhood romance.
I hope you all save some room for my famous Apple Brown Betty. The recipe is a closely guarded family secret, passed on from my mother's mother to my mother to me. And someday, I will give it to my Bobby.
Just from personal experience, that's the kind of embarrassment you get in front of someone you want to impress. They became quick friends afterwards, partially due to being next door neighbors, partially because Connie really didn't know anybody else. But I'd be surprised if a mutual liking wasn't also part of what drew them to spend time together. Though at the beginning, the dogs did kind of help them.
Oh, be careful, Bobby. That's one of them Chinese fighting dogs.
Oh, it's a West Highland Terrier.
Yeah, that's it. So what's his name?
Doggy.
Yes, Con Jr., he's a doggy. Now, can you tell me his name?
He's called Doggy.
And that's called a doggy, too, but her name is Ladybird.
The two technically shared their first kiss while still in the first season, more specifically Plastic White Female, where Bobby gets caught practicing his kissing skills on a mannequin head.
Bobby! Mom!
In preparation for Joseph's upcoming boy-girl party, and Connie proposes the idea of them practicing on each other.
Hey, Bobby, can we practice on each other?
You want to kiss me?
No, just practice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's clear here that it's just practice, but I think both of them know it's not really practice. This was their first kiss, but it really is a sweet and innocent moment between the two, and a good story to tell people if the two were still together as adults. Also, love the headbutting here. It shows the awkwardness and inexperience both of them share, and to an extent shed by sharing this moment.
Close your eyes.
This is stupid.
Let's try it with our eyes open.
It's also good that Connie knows to close her eyes, because sometimes that whole oral close face thing can be kind of weird.
Oral. From what you just described to me, you meant close face.
Close face?
Yes, close face, the angel of kissing.
Gosh, the only angel I've heard of is good old Gabriel.
Was that right?
I think so. Do I have any hickeys?
I don't see anything.
Bobby does go to the party and plays part in a game of Spin the Bottle, though the outcome of it may not have been what anyone there expected, nor particularly wanted. Though slight props to Bobby for a pretty decent leap there. He got a bit of height and distance on that one, and it didn't even have to involve a fruit pie.
I told you this was going to happen. We get them boys and girls, leave them alone. We get all that hanky-panky going on.
That's what's supposed to happen when we get down.
It's some damn sugar stuff.
Sugar what? Sugar what?
This, of course, would not be the last time one of the boys tried to kiss one of the moms. Let's not forget about Joseph shooting his shot at men.
Oh, that little hillbilly packed quite a wallop. You want some naproxen?
No, I'm okay.
How did tall, dark, and handsome get butt-kicked by short, fat, and redneck?
Okay, a few things here. One, I get that he's just a kid that's going through puberty, and it's basically a hurricane of hormones and confusion as you're inexplicably drawn to things about girls that you've never noticed before, like a moth to a flame. Your mind constantly battling with several 100,000 years worth of survival instinct, but dude, no, don't do that. And B, if you're gonna check a woman out, learn to side-eye. I get that Dale hasn't taught Joseph this, it's quite possible Dale isn't aware of it, but you can't just ogle at somebody. That's weird and disrespectful, let alone creepy. And you sure as hell don't just go for the whole enchilada without warning, but luckily men thought it was funny.
Joseph, what's going on?
Oh, you're so cute. Con's gonna get a big kick out of this.
Joseph, how could you?
Oh. Sorry, I thought you liked me.
Oh yeah, you're rocking my world.
Anywho, so going into season 2, they might like each other, and technically they've shared their first kiss. And we see that there's definitely something going on in The Son That Got Away. Especially since we start off the episode with Bobby singing joke songs to Connie during choir.
And I have to go take a pee.
What did I tell you two? Bobby, Connie, this is the 3rd time this week. I've suffered through everything from old man liver to the smello nose of Texas.
Now, I can only go based off of my personal experience, and as someone who had a childhood girlfriend that I dated for several years, this is exactly the kind of thing that I do to make her laugh. By the way, that's what my human suit looked like back then. Yeah, I know. I was also the class clown in... Wait. Oh my god, I'm not a Bobby, am I?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Bobby's quasi-flirting gets them in trouble with the choir teacher, Eugene Grandy, who was voiced by the late great John Ritter.
No, this is not a handicap thing. I have nothing against you people.
You people? Did you hear that, Marcus? He said you people. You people.
Who the hell is us people?
Wait, no. You don't under... What?
And since this wasn't their first time, he ends up calling Hank and Con to come down for a discussion, which goes about as well as any of us would expect. He'd honestly have been better off calling Min and Peggy, but no, he got Hank and Con. And it does not help the situation that Con already isn't a big fan of Bobby. I'm not sure if he'd already written a song about him or not.
Bobby, you better go. If my dad catches you here, he'll make me play that song he wrote about you.
Fat white lumps about me?
But he and Hank have an argument over who's to blame while the kids watch on and the teacher holds a concert.
It's your boy's fault we're here. He bad crowd. You punish him.
You don't worry about Bobby. You just punish Con Jr. She's the mastermind behind all this.
Oh, yeah, will be punishment.
Darn right there'll be punishment. Give me that.
Both kids get punished. One has to clean out the gutters while the other got to mow the lawn on a lawnmower, which, yeah, that's not much of a punishment, but okay, whatever. They decide screw this and head off with Joseph to the Boneyard, a cave system nearby that teens apparently use for hanging out, underage drinking, and other recreational activities, or as Con would put it,
in Laos we call it pass on pate.
Pass on pate.
The 3 kids headed to the caves and end up getting lost, as do Hank and Con. And Bobby gets sad when their candle goes out, and, scared in the dark, Joseph and Connie hold hands. I get Bobby taking the wrong idea here, thinking that it means that, Connie likes Joseph, but this seems more like a reflex response to being plunged into darkness more than anything. And I'm willing to bet that Connie would have held a girl's hand had a girl been standing where Joseph was. But after Bobby eats all the food they brought and offers himself up as a sacrifice in case they starve, well, that there cements his spot in little Con Jr.'s heart.
You'd do that for us?
Of course I would. You're my best friends. My body is my gift to you.
Oh, Bobby, that is so kind and brave.
Even as they're heading home after being saved, Bobby is still convinced that Connie likes Joseph, but even Joseph sees that she prefers Bobby, and that's saying something because, how do I put this delicately? Joseph is an idiot. I mean, if gunpowder were brains, that boy couldn't blow his nose. He's got exactly 2 brain cells, and they're fighting over 3rd place.
Hi, I'm Joseph. My head's been full of thinking the past few days. There are many decisions to be made about my future. My football future and the future of my brain.
So it's probably just Bobby getting stuck in his own head if everyone but him sees what's going on.
I think Connie likes you.
Nuh-uh. She likes you. The minute you said we could eat you, she was yours.
We also get a scene with Hank and Con where Con admits that he thinks Bobby is a good boy. Not good enough for Connie, but still a good boy.
Say, why aren't you nervous about my Bobby?
Until puberty, he do no worse than Hickey. Besides, I know he a good boy.
In Bobby Slam, the two were pitted against each other over who gets a spot on the school's wrestling team. And they're able to figure out a way for both of them to win by performing professional wrestling moves rather than the traditional Greco-Roman style, with each of them hitting a few moves and Connie possibly working a little stiff there.
Nope. That's real wrestling.
I want to go to a party school. Yeah, Chico State.
We never get to see how it turned out. For all we know, Bobby won after a Spanish fly off the bleachers while the kids chanted EC Dub. Also, random thing I noticed, why is Luann helping Connie train? I get why men would get her to help teach Connie by demonstrating moves, pretty sure we all get that part, but why would Luann agree to work against her cousin? That just seemed kind of, odd.
Connie, you got the full color pen? You take good note this time.
Bill, for crying out loud.
I was listening.
More of Connie having a crush on Bobby in I Remember Mono, first in a way that she tries to downplay Carrie Strug.
Why do you think she's so great? So she does gymnastics, so what? Let's see her play violin. Besides, she's in her 30s. They don't tell you that.
You're missing the point, Connie. She had a broken leg, and she just kept going.
For those unaware, Carrie Strug is a gymnast who won the hearts of America after competing with an injured ankle in the vault competition and sticking the landing despite how painful it must have been, thereby ensuring a gold medal for her team at the 1996 Olympics.
Carrie Strug is hurt. She is hurt badly.
Who, for some reason, Bobby thinks might be his secret admirer. And yes, she does voice herself when she appears in Bobby's Daydream.
It's compulsory that you be my Valentine.
Bobby's classmates are also noticing Connie's behavior, acting jealous and walking off a bit in a huff.
I think Connie likes you. Well, you see, once one girl likes you, it's like having a ring on your finger.
Now, during the episode, it's kind of subtly hinted that Connie may in fact be Bobby's secret admirer. We all know it's not Carrie Strug, including when the big moment is about to arrive and Bobby has gathered his classmates to witness his admirer from the closet, kind of making Dooley a bit of a hypocrite.
Joseph likes to watch.
Hey, where's Connie? She want to see this. I thought she'd be here.
His admirer isn't Connie or Carrie Strug, but rather is Peggy's mother, the pre-retcon loves her grandson version, not the later ignores her grandson version.
Why didn't you marry that boy from across the road? What? Sven Grammersdorf? The alfalfa farmer's son? He was a decent man from good stock. Well, I did not have feelings for him, Mom. No one asked you to. We were trying to run a ranch, not a feelings factory.
Embarrassing Bobby, but yeah, he kind of deserved that.
Grandma?
Happy Valentine's Day, boo-boo.
No!
Your grandmother loves you.
In 3 days of the condo, the two hang out together in Mexico. May not be the smartest thing to do for two American children.
We gotta sneak off on our own, Bobby.
Mom, can Connie and I go play volleyball?
Well, all right. Just make sure to apply plenty of sunscreen, honey. We are much closer to the sun here than in Texas.
And after coming across a rather large firework known as La Bomba... Yes, I know La Bomba and La Bomba are two different things. One's a dance, the other explodes, and this was the kind that explodes, or at least it was supposed to explode. Though disappointingly, it seems that they may have gotten themselves a dud.
This is our chance to really make a statement.
I think it's a dud.
Yeah. Let's give her 15 more minutes.
Also, had it not been a dud, I'm willing to bet they would have gotten in a decent amount of trouble for blowing up what looks to be an Italian restaurant's mascot. By the way, fun fact if I haven't mentioned it before, the Caesar salad was invented by an Italian man named Caesar Cardini who owned a restaurant in Tijuana.
Oh my God, it's the police! They know I tried to blow up one of their monuments.
On to season 3, where first they were together when Bobby learned that his dad may have died in an explosion and death of a propane salesman. Probably the best person for Bobby to be with when hearing that news, if I'm being honest.
Your dad got blown up.
Then we get, and they call it Bobby Love, where Bobby falls for an older girl named Marie, voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Connie happens to see the two making out, causing her to feel sad.
Bobby?
But it also gets her to ask for advice, and again, interestingly, she goes to Luann. I get that she can't really talk to men about it, and Luann is probably the closest woman to Connie's age that she knows. So it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, Luann may not be the best person to ask for romantic advice.
Hi, my name is Ladybird. I like long walks, my arthritis medication, and 2 cups of kibble a day. I'll try to outsmart you and get 3 cups, but I know you're too clever for that, Ms. Platter.
I don't know, Uncle Hank. She did write this letter and everything.
Trips off.
Though she doesn't really give bad feedback here.
And, well, it's made me realize that I really like Bobby. What should I do, Luann?
Well, if you and Bobby are meant to be, then it'll happen. I mean, Buckley and I weren't meant to be, and that's why he blew up.
Of course, Bobby and Marie split up after an incident involving a basement, dancing, and all of those guys. Basically, Bobby thought that they were more than they were, and they weren't, so he got to experience his first real heartache.
Just tell me why you were dancing with all those guys!
Goodbye, Bobby.
Bobby worked through this thanks to the musical talents of the original Hank Williams, which Hank is somewhat happy about and sees as a silver lining.
Well, he stopped crying. That's a step in the right direction. And the boys' taste in music's getting better, too.
And eating a 72-ounce steak in a single seating in front of his vegetarian kind of ex. And afterwards, we see that Connie really is a real one. She's right there for Bobby as he pukes his guts out. It's mostly a lot of beef, and I mean a lot of beef, but I love the fact that she's Johnny on the spot here.
Oh, when you finish, you want to come over to my house and watch some television? Doesn't have to be television.
They just hang out as friends for a chunk of the season until we get to Love Hurts and So Does Art, also known as the episode where Bobby got gout.
I've got gout!
For those unaware, gout, known as the King's disease due to its historically affecting the rich or royalty, is a form of inflammatory arthritis caused by the buildup of uric acid crystals. About half of the time it occurs in the joint at the base of the big toe. Bobby's is caused by his diet, more specifically too much organ meat like liver. This apparently causes about 12% of cases. Anywho, the school dance is coming up and it's pretty clear that Connie wants to go with Bobby.
Connie likes you, so after the dance, you know you're getting a kiss. And then you'll have a girlfriend.
Problem is, Bobby ain't too sure, especially when it comes to the anticipated kiss that everyone expects to be coming. Yes, they already did technically have their first kiss. Something that Bobby brings up when asking Luann for advice. Kinda surprised how often people ask her for advice. I do not advise that.
You know, Connie and I practice kissed once already, and nothing changed.
Yeah, but this is a middle school dance kiss. This is a real kiss.
Luann, I thought you were smarter than this. I did.
Bobby is also keeping his failure with Marie in mind, remembering that their relationship, or whatever it was a relationship to Bobby.
Your father has kissed me.
Peggy!
I'm not afraid to show my love. You are.
Your father and I have done things you can't even imagine.
Peggy, please!
Fell apart after they kissed, which, yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. But I get his thought process. He's very hesitant about the dance because he doesn't want to ruin things with Connie, who, by the way, has no second thoughts, and even asks Bobby to go to the dance, though he does not give much of an answer.
Your toe will be better by next week.
Or it could be worse. I only know that I'll be praying for it to get better so we can go to the dance. But praying usually doesn't work.
He is pretty disheartened, totally understandable. She has no idea what's going on inside Bobby's head, and he doesn't exactly make it any easier for her to figure him out. What is figured out is the pain in Bobby's foot. It's gout, and we get to see Bobby give a presentation to his class about the disease, followed by him dodging questions about his ability to go to the dance like he was competing in a game of assault on American gladiators.
Keith has made his way to station number 2 safely. How's he look, Larry?
But Mikey's making a serious mistake when he goes station to station. He turns his head away from the gun. He's not looking at the balls that are coming at him.
Yes, you.
Will your toe be better in time for the dance?
I'm sorry, Connie. I was pointing to the gentleman behind you.
Answer the question.
I'm sorry. I was pointing in front of you to Joseph.
Are you taking Connie to the dance?
I'm sorry, I think we've run out of time.
So Bobby's gout ultimately is caused by him eating his feelings, that rather than open up to anyone about his worries, he kinda tried with Luann, but again, she ain't the best advisor.
Luann, I could use a hand.
Now you put it in the freezer.
And the more pressure he felt from those around him about the upcoming dance that was looming in the distance like some Lovecraftian Leviathan, the more food he ate that worsened his gout. Yep, it's some kind of romantic organ meat Ouroboros. This leaves Connie kinda out in the cold, bless her heart, and in her desperation she turns to Peggy, who is not a bad choice.
By the way, how's his toe gout? Do you think he's going to get better in time for the dance?
Well, of course he is, honey, but why do you... Oh.
I've got to go.
Yeah, though Peggy in the past has had issues letting go of Bobby and letting him date.
When it's time for me to just let go. Just let go so you go on. You go to the party. That's right. Just spread your wings and fly away, little bird.
She's fully supportive of Connie. Atta girl, Peggy. Good job. Trying to set Connie's mind at ease, though, let's be honest, Bobby doesn't exactly make that the easiest task.
Honey, listen to me. Caring for Bobby is nothing to be embarrassed about.
Oh, yeah? He named his swollen toe Madam, and she talks with a French accent.
I did not know that.
Oh, and by that point, Bobby has gotten a rascal, also known as a mobility scooter, and they're called rascals because they're made by a company called Rascal Mobility. Same reason you call facial tissue Kleenex.
I see by your face you did not know about the rascal.
Peggy does assure Connie that Bobby is laying off the deli food and doing what he can to get better, which is proved false when Connie catches Bobby at the Showbiz Deli, eating his feelings and stuffing his face with the very same foods that are making his gout worse. This damn near breaks little Connie's heart. Like, really, I seriously feel bad for her, as I end up doing several times when it comes to her relationship with Bobby. And Bobby makes it clear here just where his loyalties lie.
You would rather stuff yourself and roll around in your stupid electric cart than take me to the dance?
Well, I guess I would.
He tries to act like there's nothing wrong between him and Connie. Yeah, bad move there, Bobby. She pretty much gave you a shit or get off the toilet moment and you just sat on the toilet. I understand he's young and mature. We all do stupid stuff as kids. I did my fair share as well. And maybe I'm being overly critical of Bobby because it reminds me of mistakes that I may have made at his age. But still, come on, Bobby, you really shouldn't be surprised when Connie goes to the dance without you.
I'm going to the dance.
But I told you I didn't want to go to the dance.
I know. I'm going with someone else.
Luckily, the night of the dance, Bobby finally comes to his senses. However, on his way to the dance, his rascal battery runs out and he wrecks it, leaving him to trudge cross-country by foot. And I do mean foot since he has to hop on one leg or crawl the whole way. Eventually, he just rolls down a hill in the final leg of the journey. All this to the soundtrack of Love Hurts by Nazareth, just so he can make it to the dance and be with Connie. He finds her and she admits that she never had a date and only wanted to make him jealous, and I'm proud of Bobby here. He sucks it up and he does what he's gotta do.
Shall we?
What about your gout?
My dad says when you really want something, you play through the pain.
Also, the Connie doing stuff to make Bobby jealous thing, that comes back several times. Okay, so finally, take me out of the ball game. Bobby and Connie are a couple, or at least according to the yearbook, and it only took us 59 episodes to get there. Though the two of them aren't exactly ready to label themselves a couple because we can't just make things easy.
You guys are a couple.
Can you believe they put that picture in there?
Yeah. Can you believe it?
During this time, Connie is selling cookies with the Arrow Girls, an obvious stand-in for the Girl Scouts and their legendary cookies. And there's only one thing that pops in my mind when I think of Girl Scout cookies.
Is this made from real lemons? Yes. I only like all natural fruits and beverages, organically grown, with no preservatives. Are you sure they're real lemons? Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll buy a cup if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Do we have a deal? Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Bobby tries them and thinks that they're terrible. I'll keep my opinion of Girl Scout cookies to myself. They're okay. Certainly no cabbage cheese.
Boy, that cheese.
But Bobby decides to make it his life's work to make better cookies than they do, doing this mostly by doubling the butter, and he then begins a campaign to besmirch the good name of the Arrow Girls. This causes the other girls to tell Connie that his cookies are terrible.
Ew, this tastes like mud.
What? That's a lie. You take that back. Taste it, Connie.
Don't do it. Don't let him make you eat mud. This isn't funny, Bobby.
Connie, wait. There's nothing wrong with Bobby's cookies. Look at me. I'm eating them. They've got her head all turned around.
Eventually, she does try them. She probably should have done that off the bat, and she really likes them. Just like she really likes Bobby, which she finally openly admits, referring to Bobby as her boyfriend for the first time. Something that Bobby is happy to hear.
You lied to me. My boyfriend is a cookie genius.
Yeah, I am a cookie boyfriend.
And we see them finally holding hands afterwards as they watch the softball game. This takes us to season 4 and the first real test of their relationship in aisle 8A, where Connie stays with the Hills while her parents go to a conference in Maui.
Ugh, how many cows do you people eat in a year?
Wait, we figured this out once.
And Connie experiences her first period. By period, I don't mean the school kind. I'm talking about the becoming a woman, Carrie freaking out in the girl's shower kind of period, which does not bode well for Bobby, seeing as he's trying to act like some kind of Ninja Turtle-clad Casanova. And he's not doing a great job of it.
Oh, but sure, I could be a little scared.
I could get my nightlight.
No, that's okay, Bobby. Good night.
Swing and a miss. Bobby had a clear shot, let the fear talk him out of it, and he missed the goal. This is one of those 20 seconds of courage moments.
You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
Boy, I really wish I'd heard that when I was Bobby's age. Anywho, Connie gets her first period and isn't in the mood for Bobby's shenanigans. Though in her defense, she is right about the whole eating cake after brushing your teeth thing.
I just brushed my teeth.
So did I.
If you just brushed your teeth, then why are you going to eat bundt cake? You're just going to have to brush your teeth again. Why don't you ever think?
Peggy has a talk with Bobby at Whataburger to explain Connie has started puberty. She does a decent enough job, and Connie gets advice from her mother. About time that happened, I noticed that once her and Bobby started dating, she went to men for advice rather than a female member of the Hill family. Probably a good call.
Do you want to be in charge, Hank?
No.
And we get to see Hank give Bobby some advice on how to deal with Connie, seeing as Bobby is totally confused as to what's going on inside her head. I really like this scene, and I'm going to show as much as I can because it's a great talk from Hank, and a sadly rare example of Hank and Bobby really having a heart-to-heart discussion.
Bobby, every woman has a period of time every month.
Even Mom?
Bobby, if we're going to get through this, you cannot ask me questions like that.
My bad.
Now, every month, a woman has this time when she gets very angry at everything. And usually men are the everything. It's like a tire fire. Trying to put it out only makes it worse. You just gotta let it burn. Grab a beer and let it burn.
This clears up a lot for Bobby, and he meets up with Connie so that the two can talk about things, both agreeing that they don't want to break up, but Connie admitting that there will be times when she does not want to be around Bobby. I totally understand that. I'm a squirrel that needs his me time here and there. It's a completely reasonable boundary to have, especially if it betters or maintains your mental health. Bobby also agrees, thankfully, and they end the episode back on good footing.
My mom says we shouldn't be alone together anymore and that you only want one thing.
Did she say what that was? Because I am so confused.
Me too. This sucks. I still want to be your girlfriend. But for those 4 days when I'm a woman, I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Deal. I'll see you in 2 days.
However, another issue arises in Naked Ambition when Bobby figures out that Connie still hasn't told her parents about dating him, blaming it on her dad wanting her to date Chain with Song, though she does agree to tell them.
You are getting sleepy. You will tell your parents about us, and you will quit smoking.
I'll tell them.
Shortly after, the real issue of the episode arises when Bobby accidentally sees Luann naked, something that Bobby is horrified at and Joseph is jealous of because, unlike Bobby, he's at the very beginning stages of puberty and yeah, I get it. Also, random sky shot for those of you who look for such things. I've noticed, y'all. Girl crazy Joseph keeps getting Bobby in trouble because he keeps trying to peep in on Luann in order to see her naked, which is creepy. Don't do that. I get it. Puberty, he's not thinking clearly, but dude, no, that's creepy. Then again, Joseph is just kind of creepy anyway.
Joseph likes to watch.
Anywho, while Bobby is outside with Joseph, who's using binoculars to look at a silhouette, they get caught by Connie, who thinks they're trying to peep at her. She then proceeds to give them a tongue lashing, which they totally deserve, and I commend Connie for not taking their crap. Also, Bobby is not helping himself by trying to cover for Joseph here. If he'd have just been honest, yeah, it'd have been a lot better for him.
How dare you, Bobby? Peeping at me is bad enough, but bringing your friend over to scope me out too?
Connie, please, you don't know.
Is this what you're looking for? Is this what you came to see? Well, take a good look, you pervs!
They end the conversation on bad terms, imagine that, after Bobby finds out that Connie still hasn't told her parents about them dating, which she responds to with the fact that maybe she doesn't have to now. Later on at school, Bobby tries to act as though nothing was wrong. Yeah, that goes about as well as one would expect, with Connie turning down Bobby's offer to spend time together.
Come on, baby, don't be that way. Why don't you come over tonight? I got a new laser pointer.
She later doubles down on this by going out on a date with Chain Wasana-song. This, by the way, is the first appearance of all the members of the Wasana-song family. And I can't really agree with her here, but then again, these are kids making kid decisions. But it still sucks that she would intentionally do something to try and hurt Bobby. And like I mentioned earlier, her trying to make him jealous is kind of part of what she does. When she gets back, Bobby confronts her about her date, which she said was amazing, though she's clearly lying. So Bobby confesses everything, why he was helping Joseph peek at Luann, that they hadn't been trying to peek at Connie, with the conversation taking a turn when Connie feels bad that no one would even want to peep at her. Bobby corrects her, and long story short, the two of them decide that since they're boyfriend and girlfriend, it's high time that the two see each other naked, or at least topless, much to Con and Men's surprise.
Here goes.
So how is date with Chain? Wow!
Con, what's going on? Yeah.
It's one thing for her parents to find out that Bobby is her boyfriend. Men should have already figured that one out. But it's a whole nother thing when you walk in on your teenage girl about the flash of the redneck kid next door. Con's way to handle it is by building an 8-foot wooden privacy fence between his house and the hills. I mean, the house the Hill family lives in, not like actual topographic hills. And when Hank brings up the fact that the fence is a little taller than the neighborhood normal, Con informs him of what went down the previous night.
Last night, I catch Bobby half naked in Connie's room.
Bobby?
Truth about your little boy, not so pretty after all, is it, Hank Hill? He girl crazy sex fiend.
Seeing as Hank has always been pretty supportive of Bobby dating,
Well, I don't like girls.
Peg, honey, close the screen door.
Hank, can I speak with you?
In a minute.
In the kitchen?
This better be about dinner. A 12-year-old boy running off to play rather than talk about prom dresses with his mom sounds pretty normal to me. Normal. What do you know?
Where Con is worried about Connie, Hank is relieved and a little proud of Bobby. Okay, he's probably really proud of Bobby. Con even goes so far as to set up a motion sensing light, convinced that he's got Bobby's number, and that there's no way that Bobby could possibly get over the terribly built fence. Seriously, Con, those are some pretty bad gaps. And failed to set off the light, so good job, Con. Your plan to keep your daughter safe from the hillbilly next door seems flawless.
Dad, what are you doing here?
I was just getting the guys out of the insane asylum. What are you doing here? The 10-footer ought to do it. The middle one.
Yeah, it didn't work, because of course it didn't work. Con left his ladder sitting next to the house. You never leave your tools outside. So Connie just climbed it and Hank came along to help Bobby get a ladder of his own. So yes, Con succeeded in making it harder for them, but Bobby and Connie still got their makeup kiss come hell or high water.
I know a couple of those words. I better go. Bye.
I see you. Con see everything.
Also, yes, this did cause Con to see Luann naked, so he probably wasn't that mad after all. In Won't You Pee My Neighbor, their relationship seems to be going strong, though Con's still not a fan.
I'm gonna make a pee my resolution to kiss you every day. And to get out more.
Bobby, of course, famously ends up being considered as a possible reincarnation of a Buddhist Lama, something that causes issues with Connie, seeing as Bobby doesn't take it, and by extension, Connie's religion, seriously. It's not how Bobby meant to come off. He was trying to get the monks to give Connie a chance, but it just ended up backfiring.
That guy in the dress is loco.
That guy is a monk, and that dress is a robe. And my religion is not a joke.
He is able to more or less smooth things over by taking Connie to a meeting at a local Buddhist club, showing that he does respect her religion, possibly more than her own parents do. Not that that should be surprising at all.
My parents don't go to things like this. There's no one here they want to meet. Thanks for bringing me, Bobby.
Thank you for the ice cream cone.
Yeah, a lot of places of worship nowadays have become less about religion and more about networking. It's part of the reason why a lot of older churches are literally dying. Con is on board with Bobby being a llama because it means he'll have to take a vow of celibacy and break up with Connie.
Oh, there, Con Jr. We know how you must feel, but really, you just dodged a chubby white bullet.
The day arrives for Bobby to take the final test to see if he is in fact the reincarnation of a llama. Bobby is stressed out and he's not really sure what to do, but when it's time to do or die, Bobby makes the absolute perfect choice. Because of all the objects that were laid out before him, the only one that caught his eye and the only object that he had any interest in was Connie.
I can pick anything I see on this rug.
Yes.
I pick Connie, right there in the mirror.
I make him pick for real. He cheating.
There is no cheating. The test has been taken. He has chosen.
Oh, Bobby.
Bump in the road for them was in Peggy's fanfare, which was a bump in the road for a lot of people, especially Randy Travis. Bobby heads off with his family on a church trip to country music fanfare in Nashville.
Connie, I'm gonna miss you so much.
I got you this phone card at the mall. It's good for 10 minutes and has Tony Danza's picture on it.
Connie, my girl. Buddha broke the mold when he made you.
Which, by the way, is real. They dropped the fanfare name in 2003, and it's now known as CMA Fest. But it is an actual 4-day country music festival with shows, meet and greets, and all that good stuff. Connie gives Bobby a Tony Danza phone card that he can use on the road. Yes, those used to be a thing, and yes, Tony Danza does voice himself in this episode. And also, yes, Hank laughs at Tony Danza.
Well, I've got a sense of humor. I laugh at Tony Danza. Of course, if you aren't joking, I feel bad and I apologize. I laugh at Tony Danza.
I laugh at Tony Danza. I laugh at Tony Danza.
All right, that's it.
We get to hear from the boss when Bobby calls Connie, but instead he gets stuck with Con, who has no plans in any form of letting Bobby talk to Connie. Rather, he spins a web of lies about Connie going out swimming with Jane Wasana Song.
Hello, Mr. Supernoots and Pone. Is Connie there?
Connie? She's not here. She's,
Where is she?
If Connie want to go swimming all afternoon with Chain Wasarasong, that's her business. Enjoy your hillbilly festival.
Hey, this is Tony Danza. You've got 8 minutes left.
Bobby, for some reason, actually believes him, or at least creates doubt in his mind, and he ends up getting some advice from Brooks and Dunn. Fun fact, I've actually met Brooks and Dunn. Well, mostly the short one with the mustache kicks Brooks. It was while I was helping build a playground in Shreveport. The Dunn guy pretty much sat at a table signing autographs and taking press pictures, but Brooks at least got up on the mulch pile and helped us shovel some mulch. I even got to bury him up to his waist in mulch before he realized it. I apologized and told him that it had always been a dream of mine to bury a country music star alive, and yeah, he got a pretty good laugh out of that. Really nice guy, and they're both great to Bobby and Luann here, taking time to handle the situation that may not have been that important when it comes to the grand scheme of things, but was pretty damn important to Bobby.
It sounds like her daddy is using his chain to yank your chain.
Kix is right. Heck, I got a teenage daughter at home, and every time her boyfriend calls, I say she's out with Brad Pitt.
Ooh, I love Brad Pitt. Your daughter is so lucky.
No, Luann, don't you get it? Connie and I are back together.
So we're to season 5, and the I Don't Want to Wait episode where Bobby gets a bit too big for his britches after spending the summer with Tilly and Gary in an Arizona retirement community. Coming back feeling like he had grown up, but finding when he got back that Joseph had actually grown up, having fully entered puberty. Something that Bobby thinks he understands, but very well doesn't because, well, he can't.
There are some days of the month that I don't like to ride a bike either.
You mean because you got your period?
I chose not to use that word.
Why? It's a natural, beautiful thing.
You don't understand. You're not there yet.
He, of course, doesn't listen and instead decides to take Joseph under his wing since he has a girlfriend and Joseph is literally going girl crazy. I mean, yeah, it's puberty. I dealt with it. It ain't exactly fun. Props to the show for doing a pretty decent job of showing what it's like for a guy going through puberty and dealing with his system suddenly being flooded with testosterone.
God, I just can't stop thinking about him. I can't get girls out of my head. Just get out!
Bobby wants to use his upcoming 13th birthday party to help Joseph out with the ladies, believing fully that he's some sort of girl whisperer, and knows what he's doing because he has Connie, and no, Bobby got lucky that Connie more or less fell into his lap. She made it about as easy as it could have been. Hell, Bobby was the one that tended to make things difficult. And yeah, this would be another case of that happening because Bobby gets weird, like creepy Joseph levels of weird, when he gets the bright idea of showing Joseph how to treat a lady in a rather up close and personal manner.
Bobby, Joseph is right here.
So, maybe you'll learn something.
Bobby, you did this so Joseph could watch? You're such a creep.
Oops. Time of the month.
Connie has an issue with the entire scene. Understandable. Imagine kissing someone only to see this staring at you while you did it. And again, yeah, dude, creepy. Both of you. Seriously, hit them with it again, Dooley. They deserve it.
Joseph likes to watch.
Bobby bringing up her period again after she had clearly asked him not to, and in the context that he brings it up. I mean, come on, man, don't say that. You can think that all you want, but for the love of all things holy, and a few things that aren't, you don't say it. You never, ever say it. But he said it. He set up a whole situation where his friend could watch him make out with his girlfriend. Man, it still sounds weird. And when she had a problem with it, as most people would, he tries to blame it on her period. I get it, young kid, but damn, Bobby. Then again, any grace I may have had towards Connie completely flies out the window after Joseph goes over to apologize and the two end up kissing. An event that Bobby witnesses through the window, seeing as he is also coming to apologize, but at least he brought cake. To Bobby's credit here, I think he handled it the correct way.
Ow!
Bobby!
If my hand didn't hurt so much, I'd do it again. Oh, what the hell?
Ugh! Stop it!
They have a conversation of sorts, mostly Bobby wanting to know why she was kissing Joseph, and Connie defending her right to kiss whoever she wanted, which apparently includes Joseph, and no, that's not how monogamous relationships typically work, so I can't really back Connie on this one. Yes, Bobby is pretty far out there with his whole I made you thing, which was a spur-of-the-moment comment, I'm sure, and Connie is probably trying to wrap her head around what just happened and just immediately went on the defensive. Enormous props to the writers here for showing how some women will get pretty dirty and underhanded to try and win an argument, such as bringing up things that are totally unrelated yet they know you're sensitive about. In this situation, it's Connie using the fact that Bobby hasn't hit puberty yet.
Well, maybe I wanted to kiss a guy with a mustache, and maybe I didn't want to wait for you.
What?
The outcome of this conversation is that Bobby breaks up with Connie and crawls back out her window. I want to point out that Connie doesn't try to apologize to Bobby until after she catches Joseph trying to kiss her mom, proving to her that he'll pretty much kiss anything in a skirt, and that's no shade thrown at men, by the way. I'm just saying that had Peggy been in the same situation, he still probably would have went for it. But it does make me wonder if Connie was perhaps at least considering a relationship with Joseph. I mean, she seemed pretty hurt when she saw him shoot a shot. And maybe she does have some feelings for him. That's irrelevant because since that ship has sailed, Connie decides to hitch a ride on the USS Bobby and she apologizes. Granted, the response she got probably wasn't what she expected as Bobby was rather perturbed and chose to lash out with his words, making Connie run away crying.
I didn't mean to kiss Joseph. It was just that he was so sad and tall.
And you're so loose and cheap.
She, Bobby, and Joseph all end up in Dale's Bugabago that they crash rather quickly, and somehow they end up getting away with it by blaming teenagers. All is forgiven or something because after this episode, Bobby and Connie are back together and this whole thing is never brought up again. In 'Twas the Nut Before Christmas, we see drunk Bobby and Connie talking about their future together in a hard-to-forget scene.
Here, come here. Just think, Connie girl. When we're grown-ups and marrieds, we'll get to do this every night.
Yeah, I want a house just like this, with soft floors and plastic windows.
Look at the stars. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that brings us to Kidney Boy and Hamster Girl, a love story where Bobby ends up going to the high school and somehow just keeps going there, though his first attempt didn't go that well.
What the?
Oh, man, look at him little run around here, my little flappy don't we?
He finds an end with some popular kids by creating a story about being a high school senior whose growth had been stunted by kidney disease, hence being referred to as Kidney Boy. Yeah, that's a pretty realistic nickname, by the way. I knew a guy in high school that injured his leg in football and was known as Dead Leg for the rest of his high school career. It should be added that Bobby does ask Joseph to keep an eye on Connie if anything happens to him, especially since it's prom season, but this kind of causes issues later.
Listen, if anything happens, promise me you'll take care of Connie. Make sure she goes to the prom. It's really important to her.
Me and Connie at the prom? Wow.
Bobby gets mixed up in a contest between schools to win a No Doubt concert, and due to being distracted, he forgets to buy tickets for the junior high prom, which is apparently an issue because there's a finite number of tickets, but Bobby offers to just take Connie to the high school prom instead.
I'll get the tickets tomorrow.
Bobby, they're sold out. It turns out all those nerds who said they have girlfriends at other schools weren't lying.
Well, then, come with me to the high school prom.
Bobby also covers for Connie looking like a middle schooler by claiming that she has a tail. No, not like a monkey, but more like a hamster, at which point the high schoolers start to refer to her as Hamster Girl. So that's where the whole Kidney Boy and Hamster Girl thing comes from. Problem is, due to their immaturity, well, it's basically impossible for them to keep their mouths shut, and by golly, they got questions.
What are you staring at?
Nothing. I was. Can you pick up things with your tail? Like that shoe?
Yeah, does it wag when you're happy?
Connie, why don't we try this tux on in the dressing room?
This sets off alarm bells in Connie's head, as it should, and she wants to know why they think she has a tail, so Bobby finally admits that he told them she had a tail and that he had bad kidneys, revealing to Connie that the kids only felt sorry for him rather than actually liking him. She didn't want to go to the high school prom if the only reason they got to go was out of pity for some made-up health issues.
Not pitied you because you're a freak.
No, I have the medical condition. You're the freak. You gotta keep this straight or we're never gonna pull it off.
I am not gonna pretend I have a medical problem. There are people who really have tails. Maybe. Well, I'm not going.
With Connie not going to the high school prom and tickets being sold out for the middle school prom, Joseph decides to shoot his shot. We're still in the same season as these two kissing, by the way. And Connie agrees because it'll make Bobby jealous and because Joseph already has 2 tickets. I mentioned it earlier, and yeah, you're noticing that Connie has a track record of going out with other guys just to hurt Bobby, which in all honesty is a rather toxic trait. Don't get me wrong, Bobby makes bad decision after bad decision, but Connie is not blameless either. Just 2 immature kids making immature decisions. Connie is intending to use Joseph's feelings against him in order to hurt Bobby, so she's knowingly hurting 2 guys who happen to be best friends, and yeah, that's messed up. Joseph and Connie go to the prom, but they're interrupted by the high school guys with Bobby in tow throwing water balloons at the kids in fancy clothes. That's a dick move, guys. That's going a little too far. During this, it comes out that Connie is a middle schooler, and Bobby admits that he is also a middle schooler in order to protect Connie, after which he gets some of what he deserves in the form of a water balloon barrage as his girlfriend and best friend watch on.
Yeah! Soak in it! Soak in your lies, kidney boy!
Remember how I said the whole Joseph situation was going to cause issues? Well, we're there. Because Joseph is tired of being used and getting mixed signals from Connie, who still declares Bobby to be her boyfriend but is going to the dance with another guy. Yeah, I can get why he'd view her behavior as mixed signals, though he seems somewhat happy that he still gets to take her to the dance.
Oh, that's it. I can't take these mind games anymore. You're gonna have to choose right now. Is it him or me?
What? Bobby is my boyfriend. You know that.
I'm still your boyfriend? Really?
Yes, but because you were such a jerk, I don't have prom tickets. So I'm going with Joseph.
Cool.
Bobby and Connie get to go to the high school prom, and no doubt performance, since he did so much for them to win the contest. Meaning Connie and Bobby still get their prom experience. Kidney Boy becomes no more, and yeah, apparently there are still some unresolved issues as it pertains to Joseph and his feelings towards Connie.
Joseph understands that you only went to the prom with him to get back at me, right?
I don't really think he does. It's actually a bit of a mess.
Then we get to Father of the Bribe, where after catching Bobby in Connie's room again,
Fat white lump!
Con makes it his mission to break Bobby and Connie up for good because he sees Bobby as being unworthy of his daughter. Much in the same way that we later see Min's father, the General,
For a great low rate, you can get online.
ah, damn it. Well, he looked down on Con the same way Con looks down on Bobby.
Welcome, General. I forgot how handsome you are.
Stand down, descendant of fishermen.
So Con takes Bobby down to Whataburger. Apparently that's where adults in this town take kids to have serious talks.
Uh-oh. Last time you were waiting for me, I learned about Goldfish Heaven.
Come on, Bobby. Let's go to Whataburger.
All right. Oh, God. Where's Ladybird?
And proceeds to offer Bobby the hefty sum of $300 if he'll break up with Connie, trying to explain to Bobby that he's not good enough for Connie, or at least that the two of them are heading in 2 separate directions, and spoiler alert, he's right.
Bobby, deep inside those folds, you must know that you and Connie do not belong together. She is destined for Harvard, you are destined for something less. Maybe retail.
But Bobby's not hearing it and refuses the offer, telling Con to keep the money for their wedding, though Con's not gonna give up that easy.
You think about it. $300 buy a lot of fake vomit for comedy act.
Bobby tells Connie about the indecent proposal, and she responds by saying that she's gonna put Con in a rundown retirement home. That's actually a pretty good comeback. Another issue that the couple is facing is the anti-public displays of affection rules at the school, meaning they can't hold hands in or out of school. So they concoct a plan where they go along with Con's bribery but use the money to rent a motel room that they can then spend time together in. Yeah, that sounds like the exact opposite of what Con wants, his breakup money being used to buy his daughter and her boyfriend a motel room. And when Connie tells her parents that Bobby broke up with her, Con's happy but Min is conflicted.
I don't know about this. It's one thing to bribe a judge, but...
Don't you go soft on me. Better she cry now for 10 minutes than spend 45 years crying that Bobby Hill still not get promotion at Dirt Factory.
Bobby and Connie use the money for their room at the Jolly Roger. There's a mirror on the ceiling above the bed, 3 guesses why that's there. And Connie unveils the next step of her plan, to intentionally fail a class, something that she knows will drive her parents crazy.
You're gonna fail a test on purpose? You have never been more beautiful to me than you are right now.
Then, when she gets put in a lower class and expresses her boredom through a note, it's taken as a suicide threat, as it should be. Yeah, it is better to be safe than sorry in these situations. But Con and Min do an immediate about-face and embrace Bobby dating their daughter.
Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry.
No. Shh. All your mother and I ever want for you is to be happy.
In fact, they end up causing the kids to spend so much time together that the two of them figure out that they really don't have anything in common and decide to break up on their own. Connie still wants to study and get into a good college for herself rather than because it's what her dad wants. At least that's what she tells herself. And Bobby just wants to be a 13-year-old boy and do 13-year-old boy stuff.
Are you firing me?
It's, I think we should break up.
What? But I came here to break up with you.
You're just saying that.
No, I mean it. I composed a breakup letter and everything.
They agree to stay friends though, but this marks the end of the Bobby-Connie relationship. It lasted 50 episodes from episode 59 to episode 109. And in case you're wondering, there are 259 episodes in the series. I also can't help but notice that Connie doesn't want to break up with Bobby until after Con is okay with their relationship. Almost like him hating Bobby made her like Bobby even more. And it's quite possible that part of the reason she dated Bobby was as a way to piss off Con. Much like her mother did with her father, whether she wants to admit it or not.
Okay, you picked Dad because Grandpa hated him, so I should stay with Bobby? No. I picked your dad because even though we're very different, I knew he was right for me.
So from this point on, the two are just friends, and everything seems to be fine between them with both of them moving on. Well, that is until I'm with Cupid and Bill enters the chat.
Sweet on you, Connie. Connie, I'm your little candy man.
It's a Valentine's episode, so Bobby is getting all kinds of flowers from the girls, including Connie. And I might be alone on this one here, but I can't lie. I get that they decided to stay friends, but it does seem kind of odd that she'd give him a flower. It could just be an indicator that the two had truly moved on, but I don't know. It's just weird.
Bobby, did you save me a spot?
There's always going to be a special place in my heart and on my shirt for you, Connie.
As I mentioned, everything's fine until Bill gets in Bobby's ear and convinces him that he'll be alone forever if he doesn't get Connie back. Just as Bill is miserable after Lenore left him. Good going, Bill. Way to drag everybody else down. This leads to Bobby going a tad off the reservation.
Bobby?
Lenore! Connie!
And by a tad, I mean he completely loses it.
Can I sleep with you guys tonight?
Hi.
No.
To the extent that he makes everyone uncomfortable by thinking that he and Connie going to the same party means that they're back together.
Yes! We are back together. Oh, baby, this feels so right.
Whoa. Bobby, we're just friends.
Pumpkin, don't use the F word on me. Not me. This is your cuddle monster talking.
He becomes so unhinged that Joseph calls him out for acting weird. Joseph called him out for acting weird. That's saying something. And Bobby gets uninvited to Joseph's upcoming Valentine's party for taking things too far.
Dude, is this what I do to chicks?
The night of the party, Bobby runs into Bill, who he's not supposed to talk to or get advice from. Good call. And he even has a whistle just in case. Also a good call.
My mom gave me this whistle in case you start giving me advice.
Blow the whistle! Blow the whistle! Blow the whistle!
But instead of blowing the whistle, you should have blown the whistle, Bobby. You really should have blown that whistle. He gets terrible advice from Bill, telling him that he needs to try one last grand romantic gesture. Terrible advice, yes, but that's the name of the game when you get advice from Bill. So Bobby has it in his head that he needs to try a grand romantic gesture to get Connie back, and this is what he comes up with.
Who wants to fall in love?
Yeah, he shows up dressed as Cupid. It's a strategy, not a good one, but a strategy nonetheless. Everyone is creeped out, including Joseph. Congrats, Bobby, you've creeped out the creeper. And as if the situation wasn't weird and creepy enough already, Bobby thinks it's a great idea to shoot Connie, and considering his aim, I'm willing to bet he aimed for her eye. He's got damn good aim, no way he was just gonna randomly pop her in the eye.
Cupid is here. He's got one arrow left, and it's going straight into Connie Super-Dusen-Pone's heart.
Bobby sprouted. Ow!
You shot her in the eye.
Oh, gross! You licked it!
He gets called out for his behavior and told to leave, but Bobby refuses until the boys at the party all gang up on him and literally throw him out. More specifically, throw him over his own fence. And notice Joseph is one of the tossers. Hank and Peggy are at a loss for what to do, so Hank gets the idea of asking Boomhauer to help Bobby. Hell, it's not like Bobby hasn't gone to Boomhauer for advice before.
Well, you know, man, down. Can't go wrong with them silk, man. I'm taking a kind of flannel, man. I'm going to itch your bottom, man. She wears top and he wears bottom. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, I was thinking the Ninja Turtles with underwear.
I tell you what, man, don't let me know, man, how that don't works out, man. Don't first call, man.
Boomhauer shows Bobby his method, which boils down to ask out every woman you're attracted to, and just by sheer odds, eventually one of them is going to say yes. It's not a great method, but it does help people that have issues with rejection, as I suppose it helps dull the pain of it. The episode ends with Bobby and Connie still split up, everyone thinking that Bobby's a weirdo, and the kid is in a woman's shoe store trying to pick up girls. That's not the best arc, I gotta say.
What's wrong with you?
Ugh, where do I start?
You could start with the shoehorn on your nose.
You know, I honestly forgot I still had it there.
The last showing of any semblance of feelings between the two comes in the season 7 episode Bad Girls, What You Gonna Do?, where Bobby falls for Connie's visiting cousin, Tid Powell, voiced by Lucy Liu, and this causes Connie to feel jealous, though I'm not sure why. I guess it's from residual feelings, plus she already acted like she was still into Bobby before Tid Powell was even introduced, which she hadn't done since before they broke up.
Hey, Connie, wanna be my science partner?
That'd be great! I've got about 50 awesome ideas. 57 if we're allowed to use radium. I'll email them to you tonight.
Why are you trying to get back together with her?
What?
Joseph's not totally wrong here. There's only one reason someone looks back like that, and it ain't because they want to be friends. Add to this the fact that Connie still keeps a framed picture of her and Bobby on her nightstand, plus her becoming flummoxed when Bobby is sarcastically referred to as her boyfriend, and there seems to very much still be some feelings there on her end, whether she wants to admit it or not.
Whoa, sorry, I didn't know I was smacking down your boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
I'm not. We're just science partners.
It doesn't get any better after Bobby drops Connie as his science fair partner for Tid Powell. Connie now being stuck with Joseph, who has no idea what they're even making.
It picks up radio signals.
It's an incubator, Joseph. I had the radio on in my room while I was making it.
Then does music just...
So, Bobby, where's your cool girlfriend?
And is being fed ways to get somewhere with Connie by Dale, who isn't exactly Mr. Romantic himself. So Connie is stuck working with a guy that has an unrequited crush on her, while her ex, that she may or may not still have feelings for, is off with her ne'er-do-well cousin. That science fair project that Bobby and Tid Powell are working on, by the way, ends up being meth. More specifically, meth that she's cooking to sell so that she can go back to California. And it's Connie who realizes this. Problem is, she doesn't realize it until they're already at the science fair, known affectionately as Rock the Science. Oh, and let's not forget that a police officer is one of the judges. So at that point, Bobby's pretty much screwed. Until Connie takes it upon herself to save him thanks to a Clark Peters built potato gun. Though in hindsight, it may not have been the wisest thing to fire that at heated volatile chemicals inside glass beakers that explode everywhere.
What the heck is wrong with you?
It was an accident. Prove it wasn't, yo.
And with that look right there is the last glimmer of a possible relationship between them. They spend the rest of the series strictly as friends while Bobby goes on to date several other girls. In fact, Connie's appearances on the show itself drop quite a bit every season after this point.
We only have enough money for a t-shirt or a row of seats at the Andy Williams show.
Well, I could go for either, but it's up to you.
Possibly because she got more screen time earlier due to her relationship with Bobby and the stories it allowed the writers to tell. We also don't get to see Connie date anyone else before or after Bobby. The only other date we see her go on is with Jane, and that's while she and Bobby are together. So, Bobby and Connie, it seems like a big part of the background in the show, but in reality it wasn't as prominent as people think. It is a rather accurate depiction of a childhood romance at that age. They both do stupid stuff for stupid reasons, but they're kids dealing with love for the first time. There's plenty of people much older that make even dumber mistakes. After season 7, we don't see Bobby and Connie alone together very often. It's almost always with Joseph at that point. They dated for roughly 20% of the show and again broke up less than halfway through the series run. But it's interesting that their relationship is so well remembered, though it's more remembered for Bobby's actions afterwards, especially his unhinged Cupid debacle. As I said before, I do find it interesting that Connie only wanted to break up after Con somewhat begrudgingly accepted Bobby, and it can be questioned that maybe she is her mother's child and went for the boy her daddy hated. Now, I know the big question everybody has is whether or not Connie and Bobby will be back together in the revival. And my honest answer to this is I don't know. I could see them getting back together in, say, high school. I could see them drifting apart as they took different classes and paths in life. It's my understanding that Bobby is going to be the chef at a restaurant named after Jane, so maybe Connie did end up with Jane and it causes issues. Or maybe she and Bobby got back together and broke up during college because Connie went off and wanted to explore other relationships. Maybe one of them cheated on the other during a long-distance relationship. I can see all of these things happening. A funny idea I had that I hope they don't go with, but it's still funny, is to have Connie and Joseph end up together, but somewhere along the line, Connie cheated with Bobby, got pregnant, and has been playing a very clearly white offspring off as Joseph's son, with Joseph taking on the Dale role of unknowingly raising another man's child. I didn't say it was a good idea, I just said it'd be funny.
You know what we should do for our project? Find out how boys like Bobby could possibly be interested in some street trash like Tid Pal.
You know, if you're tired, you could crash here.
Oh, Joseph, I really don't want to get into this again.
Joseph, don't forget to do the yawn and stretch.
Ultimately, who knows what direction they're going to go in. Hell, for all we know, Connie may not even be in the revival. But as far as their puppy love phase is concerned, it was a roller coaster ride that was pretty realistic for the most part, and was over and done with quicker than most people would have preferred or realized. They're one of the classic childhood couples in television, though they're not exactly Kevin and Winnie Cooper. Ultimately, though, Con was right. The two were meant for different things, and those parting paths led them to drifting apart. I hate that I have to admit that Con was right, even if he was right for the wrong reasons. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see y'all next time.
Hey, yo, man, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna take a verse right now.
Blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gonna prove untrue. Blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Shine on the one that's gonna left me blue.